Hi there. I am starting to build I guess it's a cyclocross or a monster cross bike. It's a old Trek mountain bike that picked up the frame at our local community bike shop, and I am turning it into a cyclocross. Drop handlebars. Um, Part of the problem is that mountain bikes tend to have pull upwards derailleurs, front derailleurs, while road bikes have rear bottom pull. Excuse me. So I am converting this to a bottom pull, I should say, and to do that, I've had to mount a couple of cable stops on the on my bike. So I've fabricated those by hand. I don't have a machine shop, and then I am brazing the pieces onto the frame. So the you could probably find videos of how best to braze. I'm using acetylene. I don't have a oxyacetylene tank combo, but it seems to be working. I'm using bronze filler rod. Yeah, sort of the best resource for actually going through all the components to build a cyclo monster cross from a mountain bike would be RJ the Bike Guy. I'll link to that, and I'm sure there's multiple resources for brazing. So anyways, I've got the two pieces, and just a quick look here. This is the section that I'm building for the second piece on the bottom here, and so I just use an angle grinder, sort of cut some notches, and then I'll cut a piece, and then braze it back onto the bottom bracket of my bike. So there we go. Moving on. So there's my water bottle on the bike. I might actually move it up a bit, maybe make this the bottom hole, so I might attach another nub up under here, because I just realized here I've lost a bit of clearance for the below the bottom bracket, which I should have realized. I lost about, I don't know, maybe 2 inches, 3 inches. So if I use this bottom one here, move it up. I had it that low because I had a little concern with the wheel hitting my water bottle. But yeah. So yeah, I think I'll make another one and move it on up. So shift the whole assembly, the whole water bottle up essentially to right here. So yeah. So I have mounted my STI shifters on this bike build. These are essentially the core of the build. I wouldn't be doing this without them. These STI shifters are 3 on front and 8 on the back. I bought them from a place in China on eBay for about $40, so screaming deal. They seem to be the actual Shimano, like not a knockoff. They have a heft to them that appears to be a quality Shimano product. And yeah, so that's that. I'm currently just spray bombing my bike here to give it a black matte finish. And that's about it. Kind of doing it rough and ready, not really taking too many components off, just blasting it on, sort of making it in that, dirt bag spray bomb style. So yeah, that's what I've got so far. So I've put the cabling for the gears on, and I've assembled pretty much the entire drivetrain. There was a little bit of a hiccup. The derailleur group that I bought here, the rear derailleur set, it was a little bit too big. The pulleys were a bit too big, and the rear derailleur, the final first gear ring on the cassette was too big, so there was a bit of interference where the pulleys would hit that big final ring, number one ring. So I ended up putting on this thing right here, which is a rear derailleur extender. It was about $9 from Amazon, and it just sort of lowered the rear derailleur a little bit, and yeah, now they don't interfere. Front derailleur, I have to put a inline barrel adjuster on it. There's a little bit of a problem getting the full fine-tune adjustment, and I don't want to fiddle around with the cable for too long. But the drivetrain here is essentially. So for my rear caliper brakes, I didn't have a cable hanger for it, so I was having trouble finding one online. So I figured rather than just waiting, I'd just go and fabricate one. So I made this one here, which I'll mount on the bike and show you how I hope it works. So this is what it looks like mounted on the bike. I just mounted it on the seat post. You saw how there was a hole on it, and then this part here kind of just sort of backs up against the frame of the bike, and then the little cable stop right there is set up so that the cabling will go through it and then down to the brakes here. So yeah, hopefully this little doohickey works. So I've pretty much finished the assembly of the bike, main components. I just finished strapping the handlebars, which can be done by watching the Park Tools. I've had it out a bit, and I did have a bit of issues with the front chain, or sorry, the chain on the large chain ring on the front was popping off to the side a bit, towards this way, off of the chain ring towards the pedal. And I think it was just because of the way the chain ring was set up, or is assembled, where the curve on it, and maybe the chain that I have, it's a Shimano 8-speed, and I've got a Shimano 8-speed front crank, supposedly. So anyways, I just kind of, there's a few little the teeth had some burrs on them, so I ended up just filing those down. But yeah, so I'm going to mount some pannier racks and some mud flaps, some fenders, and see what it looks like in a bit. So this is my completed bike build. I finished it quite a while ago, probably about 10 months ago, 9 months ago. So I've actually ridden it quite a lot. You can see that I got the mount on here, the pannier racked. The water, the below one bosses for the water holders are I had one on there, but they actually broke the water. This part on the holder broke on my last trip. So yeah, got some additional things. Did make a different adjustment on the front derailleur. I was coming underneath initially to a couple of blocks that I have underneath of there, and I decided I ran that actually for a bit, and then I decided just to change it up, and I fabricated and mounted these two cable stops right here, and then just ran a piece of tubing, and I think that makes for a smoother connection. Let's see what else. I've got winter tires on it. It's winter right now. I ride it to work off and on. I have a bigger mountain bike that I kind of ride depending on what my feeling is. The this guy here, the brake extension cable stop, I guess. I don't know. I forget what I was calling it before. I could have put it more of an angle on it. You can kind of see that this is a bit of an angle right here. Jink, jink. When it's not really hurting the cable, it probably pulls a little harder, but not enough to really make a real problem. Yeah, that's about it. I actually took this on a ride on the Kettle Valley Railroad, and it worked pretty well. It was like 300 or 400 trip, and was pulling a trailer with it. Had some pannier racks, and yeah, I think I'm pleased with this build. I think I'm going to keep it again this season rather than selling it. Here is the inline cable adjustment barrel adjuster that I installed. That gives it a little bit more fine tuning for the front derailleur. Yeah, that's about it. Some cable stops for what was the original front derailleur attachment. Yeah. No, it's been a good bike. It's been doing a good service. I ride it to work, like I say, fairly often, even all through the summer I rode it, and then still riding it this winter. It's a little hard on the components the winter, but yeah, that's to be expected. So yeah, this is the end of the build. Hope you enjoyed it.